Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and this week I'm kind of just asking a simple question, what's left? We are pretty deep into Season of the Splicer now, and this is probably the least I have played the game in a very long time. This is not like some huge complaint about like, oh, there's nothing to do, like blah blah blah. I understand that I really heavily front-loaded kind of my farming for the season. I got all of the override weapons I wanted. I got lucky on some Nightfall drops for those weapons I wanted, or playlist weapons. I do not care enough to go super hard for adepts things in, kind of slog GMs, which is kind of the only thing left to do at this point. I'm perfectly happy with my like normal Azumi god roll as opposed to like the adept version. I just don't think it makes that much of a difference to me. The only thing I really could be doing is continuing to collect like missing VOG rolls and stuff that I don't have, but I haven't done that in a couple weeks now. We are kind of in a weird period here because Bungie just kind of flipped the switch on Solstice of Heroes, and when there's an event like that going on, you really don't expect anything else to happen. And sure enough, pretty much nothing else has happened. I think the only like story development that happened during Solstice of Heroes is like the Mithrax cats showed up in the Elixni quarter. So that wasn't even mentioned really, or we don't really know why that is a thing, but it's just kind of hanging out there. And I think that happened right when Solstice started. And then Bungie accidentally released the last lore page of the season that I believe was not supposed to go live until August 10th, the epilogue. So in terms of what's left this season, there's really only two things, which are probably really only one thing. I'm just trying to figure out how to parse them out. This is not based on data mining, but like Bungie released a lore page in the game, and also there have been very clear signs pointing to this in the game itself, and also in like promotion for the game ahead of time. We are heading toward some sort of showdown in the Elixni district. This will probably happen, I would say, either next week or the week of the epilogue, August 10th. It might literally be on that point, or the epilogue could be like the concluding, wrap-up event of whatever thing happens. We are going to be fighting, I believe, Vex in the Elixni Quarter. There was a promotional image showing Vex in the Elixni Quarter in Batsa, and that has been the focus of all of Lakshmi's predictions so far, is some sort of conflict there. She has been interpreting that as like the Fallen attack, and there's like blood and destruction and stuff. I don't think that's true. I think it's going to be us taking on the Vex there, and the Fallen might be kind of caught in the middle of it, and the Fallen might be like helping us fight the Vex, but we're pretty much fighting the Vex. I don't know if like Lakshmi like lets the Vex in or something, or what happens there, or if Curia is not actually dead based on our last encounter with her, but I am predicting some sort of thing there that is, I would guess it's probably an override mission, like given kind of the layout of that space, the giant circular boss arena. Maybe it'll be like a modified override mission or something. And then this will, it'll be the last thing that happens kind of story-wise this season, and some sort of conclusion for the Dark Knight storyline, or the Endless Night, the Dark Knight. It's very Batman. And that's kind of the last stage there. It's been weird because we've taken like a full month off from the storyline, and there hasn't really been even any like kind of intermediate stuff about it. It's just like, oh yeah, like that thing we did a month ago, and now we're just supposed to be like celebrating. But all the lore before this was even like, oh, I think this is the calm before the storm, like something's going to happen. And then if we get into the lore page that Bungie released, I will do a spoiler warning here because I know some people avoided that on purpose, but they released it and I didn't even know it wasn't supposed to be released, so I read it and I was very confused, and I'm like, oh, that was kind of a spoiler, probably. It's not very specific about what happens, although it does make a few things clear about who definitely survives and who is like missing or dead or both. Pretty much that the main thrust of that is like, it's like Saint and Mithrax, and there's some sort of memorial for someone or multiple someones. I interpreted it as a memorial for Lakshmi because she is not present in this thing, so I think she might die. Other people were saying like it's probably just a memorial for like all the victims of whatever this attack is that the Vex are about to do. in the last city in Batsa, whether that's humans or Elixni or whatever. Zavala survives. There have been all these predictions about like, trying to predict the future in the past. Zavala getting assassinated or something, but Zavala is in this scene. He survives. Ikora's there. Saint and Mithrax are there. Osiris is gone. The only thing we hear about Osiris here is the very end where Mithrax talks about Saint needing to go find his phoenix or something. And that implies that Osiris is missing. We're sticking with the theory that we've had forever that Osiris is Savathun. Either he kind of shed his disguise and it was revealed that he was Savathun, or Osiris just like pieced out and no one actually figured out yet that he was Savathun. My guess is that will probably be revealed, and the idea is like, okay, if that Osiris was Savathun, the real Osiris is being kept prisoner somewhere, like in the Ascendant Realm or whatever. Even if you follow the theory that Osiris has been replaced, it doesn't necessarily mean that Osiris is dead. He could be being held prisoner somewhere, and Savathun wearing his skin doesn't mean like Savathun is literally possessing his body. I think that, she could probably conjure some sort of flesh illusion or something to do this, even though she appears to be kind of struggling with it. And then this will lead into the events of next season. The second thing, and the one kind of weird piece of this that I still don't really understand, is whatever was going on with the oracles in the Lost Sector at the beginning of the season. If you recall this, I think it was in one or two Tangled Shore Lost Sectors. There was you would go to the end, and there was a conflux, and then you would activate the conflux, and then a bunch of oracles would spawn. Maybe not oracles, whatever those they're not like the light glowing oracles. They're like the diamonds that we've seen in other Vex missions, so they're kind of oracles. You shoot them, and then once you shoot them all, a Minotaur, like a boss Minotaur, appears. Not like a huge boss, but like a normal yellow bar. You kill that, nothing happens. It doesn't really. It didn't seem like a puzzle. You didn't shoot them in any order. Anything different happened. And then Bungie quickly kind of removed that from the game with a hotfix. And we have not seen that since. The theory back then was that was going to tie into the Mythoclast somehow, or like we'd have to shoot them with Mythoclast. And that would be like how you get the Catalyst. That did not happen. We know how you get Mythoclast. We know how you get the Catalyst. It is all through Vault of Glass and has nothing to do with any of that. I am trying to connect the dots between how this final mission, this Batsa thing, is connected to oracles in a Lost Sector in the Tangled Shore. We do have pretty much a full month until the season is over. My hope, I had two hopes. I hope that either this was going to be some sort of community puzzle that would come up later, and or some sort of final exotic quest, because we've only had the season pass exotic in the actual pass, and the Vault of Glass giving Mythoclast, which is technically free to play and not tied to seasonal and is like a permanent addition. So like we usually have more exotics than 2 per season, I think, and definitely one outside of the battle pass for the season, almost always. So my theory was that there was going to be another one. I have not heard any real hints to suggest that theory is correct. I just don't know how this is going to be tied to this other mission and what the Tangled Shore oracles would have to do with something happening in Batsa. I mean, it is Vex related, I guess, but that just strikes me as weird and something that may come up later. I would assume it would be part of the season. It would have to be, but that is just kind of confusing me. Besides that, I think there's one more round of Iron Banner, and that's really it. I think just the usual Nightfall rotation, and now you can. I don't know if this is active yet, but you can still be able to start farming the Nightfall soon, in whichever ones you want to do. But in terms of like actual new content, I believe that is all that's really happening over the course of the next month. When the next season drops, I think it's August 24th. I think that's dropping the same day as the big Witch Queen reveal, which is going to be very chaotic. Is the 24th a Tuesday? Isn't that exactly when? Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's going to be very busy. I'm like moving a trip I was supposed to take during that time so I can make sure I'm around for that. And we'll see what happens then. The next season is going to be very long, probably at least 5 months, given the Witch Queen's delay into sometime in early 2022, which I would say is not earlier than February, which would be 5 months at baseline from the end of August here. So that's kind of what's left. All of that is assembled from things that are in the game or in the lore, or like that thing Bungie released. Like it all seems very clear that we're heading toward that point, and the epilogue is not just going to be like a dialogue cutscene. Like there is a mission doing something. I don't know what it will be per se, but I would expect to be fighting Vex in the Batsa district at baseline. Laxmi's other prediction is that like I think it's like Korra and Saint are there fighting too, so it would be cool if we got some sort of like fighting alongside the NPCs moments, because those are so rare in the game, but I guess we'll have to see. Until then, I will probably not be playing that much. I might play here and there and run stuff with my buddies if they want to run stuff, but I'm not grinding for power. I'm not grinding GMs. Like, I'm not just randomly playing Crucible. I'm not going for Gilded Dredgen because I need like 35 more wins or something. Which is fine. Like, I don't care. I have other stuff to do. Like, I have plenty to keep myself occupied elsewhere. It's just, we always get to this point where the last month of any season, if you have been playing, pretty avidly, is pretty dead. And that's not unusual. It's just, it gets bad when it's like arrivals and then it's like the last 3 months of the season because the season's so long. And we might be running into that with next season, Season of the Wish, which is not the official name. It's just what I call it. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at, and we will see where things are going. Evie, are you loafing? Okay. She's loafing. I'm going to go finish the show I was watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you.